Welcome, one and all, to our Sunday gathering number 267. Regina just wrote in the chat box, Happy Star Wars Day. Well, it is the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. I'm Sandra, and I'm joined here by my good friends Darren and Dominic. We call ourselves the Three Amigos every time we are together. And a warm welcome to our Sunday gathering. Darren has picked the theme and the music for today. And I just have to say, Darren and everyone, that song by Phil Collins came out when I was in high school. I was maybe 15, maybe, with the whole world and life ahead of me, not knowing where I would be, very self conscious, never thought I was good enough. Had my boyfriend break up with me. Oh my gosh, it was just tough times. But against all odds, I can't believe it, 59 years old, and here I am on the Sunday gathering with you, our global family. So thank you for that. Each week, we do try to uplift, to inspire, to empower with the spirit world, letting you know that your life matters. You're never alone. When we pass from this world, we'll simply close our eyes, open them. Our loved ones and pets will be there. They're an active part of our life. So we try really to deliver the best evidence of the afterlife and also tools for living a powerful life. And people need people. So we are a global community, we are a family, and we welcome you here. So, what I'd like to do is turn it over to Darren for him to tell you a little bit more, and then we will proceed. But thank you, everyone, for joining us and welcome.
Thank you, Sandra, for that wonderful intro. And do you know what? Then, as you mentioned, Phil Collins, that song came out when you was a teenager. I was trying to work back how old I would have been back then, and I think I'd have been a little top by then. So I'd have been born when it was out as well. Dominic, bless him, didn't even exist back then. So we're all showing our age, aren't we? But a massive welcome to each and every one of you. Today's theme, as Phil Collins said, is against all odds. You know, when you look through our lives, we all go through obstacles, hurdles at some point, and you really feel like you're up against it. You feel like the world's against you. You feel like people's against you, and sometimes even you're against yourself. Um, so hopefully today, throughout the gathering, as we go through, hopefully this will kind of make you feel a little bit better, a little bit uplifted. Actually, what am I saying? It should make you feel really uplifted, because that's the point of the Sunday gathering. And as Sandra said, for those Star Wars fans out there, today is May the 4th. So may the 4th be with you. So I'll be your chair for today. I've got all the music together for today. I'll also be doing the opening prayer, part of the address and part of closing words this week. You've got our hostess with the mostest, Sandra Champlain, who'll be doing all the behind the scenes, but will be leading us into our reading and our healing today, as well as doing part of the address with the three of us, and doing part of the closing words. And then you have Mr. Wonderful Dominic Boag, who's over in the US with you guys, who will be doing part of the address, closing words, closing prayer, and obviously a wonderful demonstration of mediumship that he always does. So without further ado, if you'd like to join me for today's opening prayer. We come together here today as friends, brothers and sisters from across our world. We come together here today in love, peace and harmony, with no demands and no expectations, as we unite together as one under that banner of We Don't Die. And in uniting together here today, each and every one of us will play our part in some way in uniting the two worlds together as one, so that our dear friends, helpers and loved ones in that world we call unseen can feel free to share their words and thoughts here today through the minds of our workers, allowing us all to feel those moments of joy, healing and upliftment to all those ears who choose to listen. And as we come together here today, we do so in a knowing and understanding there is no discrimination or prejudice within the world we call unseen. Each and every one of us comes together here today as an equal and will be treated as so. So each and every one of us gets to experience the joy and celebration of uniting the two worlds together as one. And each and every one of us can allow ourselves to be immersed once again in that unconditional love and that healing balm as we allow ourselves to fall back into the arms of eternity once again. We'd like to thank all those in the unseen world for allowing us once again to walk hand in hand, side by side, to express your words and thoughts here today, to hopefully make a positive impact on all of mankind. So as we open up this Sunday gathering, we do so as always with positivity within our minds, smiles upon our faces, and love in abundance. So we truly can create that perfect meeting ground in which the two worlds can come together once again. And we ask, as always, that that healing light continues to shine to all four corners of our world, to bring that same joy, healing, and upliftment to all those hearts and minds that may be in need on this day. So without further ado, my friends, we welcome you here today. Amen.
Thank you so much, Darren. Instead of me reading to you, Darren has picked a very inspirational and empowering video. So I'm going to play that, listen to the words closely, and then we'll be right back to you with our healing. Here we go. Amen to that, brother. I don't know who voiced that, but powerful words. And we're here to empower you. We certainly are. And with that, we're going to use that empowerment towards our next part, which is our healing. Believe it or not, friends, we are more powerful than we know ourselves to be. Our healing energy can be used by those in the unseen world to direct it to where it is needed. If you want to just imagine for just a second, the truth about us is, I know when we look at ourselves, we look real, we feel real, don't we? Well, due to science, they've looked and down to our tiniest particle, you know, those atoms that bounce around our cells and molecules and all those kind of things. Well, within them, all we are is invisible vibrating energy. I think they call them quarks or something like that. But that's what makes us up as human beings. Invisible vibrating energy. Hard to believe. It's a grand illusion. It's very real. I know there's a lot of pain. But with that, if we were to look at this quantum level, and as we go into our healing, we're made up of energy. So those good thoughts, good feelings, good intentions really can be used and go to where it's needed in the world. And with our theme, Against All Odds, Darren's picked a wonderful song called The Climb by a young man singing it who's actually made that climb and won the X Factor, I believe. And so as we go into our healing, you can send out that moment, that prayer, however you wish to do it, that healing is administered wherever it's needed, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, wherever and however it's needed. Let me be a vessel for that, because I am a powerful one. Yes, I am. You can always picture people in need, healthy, whole, and well, as if they've already received the healing. And we go forth. You can keep your eyes open. You can close your eyes. You can be present. You can pay attention to the film, whatever works for you. But just have that sincere, honest intention and prayer in your heart. Let me serve however I may during our healing. When the song is over, the next voice you'll hear will be Dominic. He'll start off our address, followed by Darren, and then myself. So let me get the video playing for our healing, and then we'll meet you back on the other side, so to speak.
What a perfect song. It really sums it all up, doesn't it? It puts life into perspective of it really is like a climb. It really, truly is. Well, I'm absolutely thrilled to be back with my fellow amigos. It feels like it's been a little moment since we've all been together. And what a perfect day to actually join each and every one of you on May the 4th. So hopefully we will have a force with us today. When the odds get stacked against us, well, it can always feel like there's nowhere else we can go. It always feels like there's nothing more we can do. And sometimes when the odds are stacked against us, the easiest thing for us to do, the way that our mind is programmed, unfortunately, is to give up. We just give up. We just think, oh, well, to hell with it. It's not working, or no one believes in me, or I can't do it. Like the video that Darren had chose, the man was talking about if there's no more jobs out there, or someone tells you you can't do it, or if you're in that boxing ring, you're cowering away. And what I've actually realized myself through my little time that I've spent here on this physical earth, and I'm sure many of you have been on this earth a lot longer than I, but what I've realized is it comes down to a mindset. It really does come down to using that force that is with us to change that mindset. And myself moving through life, I've had many obstacles in life and I've had many odds stacked against me where I absolutely could have just walked away and hung up the boxing gloves or thrown in the towel. But I didn't. I got to that place of changing my mindset. And what I would like to say to you all today is stop standing and looking around for people to believe in you. First, believe in yourself. Secondly, don't look for others to move that mountain. Just climb it yourself. And even when things get, a little challenging, change your mindset into actually, I can. I can do this. I never chose to be a medium, as I'm sure most of you will understand. But mediumship opened up organically for me. And I had a choice of wanting to develop my ability and understand my ability, or just leave it be and think I was crazy. Because when I started becoming sensitive, everyone else around me thought I was just going crazy. Dominic's just having one of his crazy episodes. No one was actually paying attention and saying, actually, Dominic, what is going on with you? This is a little interesting. So I was in a little bubble on my own. I was, I guess, just trying to figure this crazy life out. But eventually, I became aware of someone that actually believed in me and someone that understood what was going on. So I moved from having everyone around me thinking, this is crazy, this is weird, and, stacking the odds against me, to then one individual coming into my life and placing their hand on my shoulder and saying, let me help you. And time unfolded, and I began to become the medium, and I began to develop, and I started to believe in myself. And I changed that mindset to actually, myself and the spirit have something special. So I chose to become a team. I chose to build a relationship with our friends in the unseen world. And as I developed more and more in the UK, I was very young, so all the other mediums were way advanced than me. And not once did other mediums come and say, can I help you? Or can I support you? Or can I do anything for you? Actually, quite the opposite. They all stacked up the mountains and the hurdles, and he's too young. He knows nothing. He can't do this. He's still in school. Who does he think he is? Don't give him opportunities. Close doors on him. And that was really hurtful. That was really hard. But I'm like a rhino. I do have thick skin. So I just brushed it off and I says, okie dokie, I will do my own thing. I will continue on my journey. Yes, that mountain might look a little bit high to climb. So maybe I'll just go round the mountain and see if there's another path to get up. And I continued to climb, and thankfully, believing in myself, opportunity came. Opportunity, I believe, came knocking on my door when I least expected it, because I changed the force that I have within my mind. I chose to use that force and empower myself by looking at opportunities and things positively, rather than allowing other narrow-minded, ignorant people to influence or manipulate my life. And yeah, don't get me wrong, every now and again, there would always be someone that had an interesting comment to make. And I always remember one time when I was really starting to stand in my power as a medium and touring the UK, I went to a spiritualist church back in the UK, and this very well-known gentleman within the movement had greeted me at the door. And he said, now, young man, please do not be offended if we do not ask you back. We only allow the best of the best to come here. And we know this is your first visit, so maybe another time, but don't be disappointed and don't take it personally. And I says to him, I says, oh, that's okay. That's absolutely okay. If I'm not invited back, then maybe it's just for me to be here in this moment to heal or to connect with people in whatever way I can. So I stood up and I began my mediumship, and he was the second last connection of my demonstration, and his wife had came forward. And his wife gave me the most beautifulest evidence, right down to the address that they both lived. And he came up to me at the end with his diary, and he kept saying, oh, we would like you to come back. Will you give us more dates? Will you? Oh, that was incredible. You were. And I just says to him, I says, to be honest, I don't feel this is the type of place for me. However, I wish you all the very best. And what I did with that, I did that because I wanted to show my power. I wanted to show that actually, no, I don't need you, and I'm not going to allow you to judge me before you even know me. So I just moved on and I continued on my journey. Even though sometimes the odds were stacked against me, I continued to move in my journey. And I empowered myself by saying, I am not going to let anyone ever again belittle me or tell me what I can and cannot do. And I'm sure you've been there. I'm sure you've been there when you felt that there's nothing more you can do and no one's got your back, and maybe family have abandoned you, or family are not helping you or supporting you. But what I will say is, when the time is right, look to the people who do come into your life. Look at the people who do support you and who are trying to help you and who do help you climb. Do not feed into the negative little voice that says, no, you can't, you're not worthy, or you're not important enough. For me, I never truly believed that I would ever visit America. Well, number one, because I hated flying and there was no way I was going to sit on an aircraft for 7 hours. But I did. I had an opportunity presented to me. Yeah, it may have only been come to America for 1 week and work, but I chose to do it. I forced myself to move into a positive way of thinking, so I did it. And now, at 33 years old, I travel the whole state, sometimes 4 or 5 months of the year, going from state to state, events from events, and doing teaching and whatever. And I allowed myself to believe in myself, and I took the opportunities, because positive people and positive opportunities then came into my life when the time was right. So all I'm going to say to you is, when sometimes the going gets tough, or you feel like you cannot climb any more of the mountain, take a shortcut. Look for another way. Don't give up. Change your mindset. Believe in yourself. Do not look for others to believe in you. Do not try to force people to be your champion or to join your team. Just be your own champion. Be your own team. Because when the time is right, better things happen. And those odds all start to then go towards positive attributes and achievements and successes. And I'm now in a place of choosing to focus on my achievements and my successes, rather than those 1 or 2 little negatives that could have knocked me tumbling all the way down that mountain. So there's some food for thought. Be you and believe in you, and you will get somewhere incredible. That's for sure. So I'm going to hand over to my fellow amigo, Darren, to jump on there and give us some more words of inspiration.
Thank you for that, amigo, and thank you for those wonderful words. And as Dominic was talking, a lot of the words and what he was talking about kind of resonated with me, and I suppose it does with a lot of you guys, not in terms of the mediumship, but the way people behave and the way people act. And if you look at it, I'm looking at my window now. We live in a beautiful world. We can all look out of our window, go for a walk in our local area, and we can all agree, I'm sure, how beautiful is the world, the nature, the weather, everything around us is beautiful. But sad to say, there is some people, and I know we live in a spiritualist community where we're trying to eradicate negativity and we don't want to talk about it, but sometimes we need to be realistic. there are people out there that unfortunately are negative, can be evil. It's only a small minority, but these are the sort of people that can create the obstacles for us, can try and detract us, can try and deter us from whatever we're doing. Why do these people do this? We don't know. Is it jealousy? Because you've done something they want to do, you've got further than they want to get, whatever it may be. I think a lot of it does boil down to jealousy. And these can create massive obstacles for us. And I'm sure we've all experienced this at some point within our life. And you see it on the news every day. There's always negativity. And like Dominic said, when he was trying to get somewhere in life, people constantly shutting the door. You're not old enough. No, you're too inexperienced. No, you're not this. No, you're not that. And I know I've mentioned it on here before. When people say to me, no, you can't, it's like a red rag to a bull for me, because I will go all out. I will put 150% effort in to show that that can be done, or I can do this, or I can do that. And sometimes it is hard because you feel everything is against you. And I say to people, I get quite, when I'm watching TV, mainly the news, I get quite emotionally thing with the news. And you ask Scott, sometimes I'm shouting at the TV. And I say to Scott, what gives these people the right to say they can't do that, this can't be done, that can't be done? When you look at some of these great people you have around you, whoever you aspire to, whether it's an amazing sports star, whether it's an amazing musician, whether you've dealt with a wonderful doctor, no matter what it may be, you think of these people, they never started off having the ability to do that job. Look at top doctors, that they couldn't perform wonderful operations from day one. Look at amazing sports stars. They couldn't do the job they do from day one. Musicians couldn't sing and play instruments from day one. We all have to learn. But I guarantee if you asked all these musicians, doctors, whatever it may be, how was your journey? And I guarantee their journey would be something along the lines of, well, this is what I wanted to do, but I was told I couldn't do it. I'd never make it. It'd never amount to much, all that. And I guarantee if you spoke to these people, they're the kind of conversations you'd have. And then you look at them again and think, so if you was told this at a young age, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that, how is it you're now doing that? How is it you've achieved that? And I'm guessing if you spoke to these people, and Dominic just kind of hit the nail on the head with that, you kind of have to have faith and trust in yourself, number one. Sometimes if you hear something enough, you believe it. Sometimes you have to kind of just get the strength and the courage. I try and do it the best I can. Is life easy? No, it's not always easy. It's always hard. But do you know what? If we gave up at every obstacle and every hurdle, would we be here today being the person we are, doing whatever it is we're doing? Probably not. If you think about it, if we listen to people all the time, we'd probably be sat at home. We wouldn't be engaging with anyone. We'd be in our own little bubble. We wouldn't experience the world. We wouldn't go out doing what we want to do. We would become what people want us to become. And like that video we saw earlier, he talked about being the true person you're meant to be. And the only way we can do this sometimes, is overcoming these obstacles. Let's get rid of all these odds against us. And it starts off with ourselves. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to have trust in ourselves. If you listen to Dominic's story, if Dominic believed and accepted everything that was said to him, do you know what? Dominic would probably be living in a little town in Scotland, doing a little job in a supermarket, stacking shelves, or whatever it may be. We'd never have heard of him. He wouldn't be spreading the wonderful word he's spreading. He wouldn't be spreading the word of your loved ones, giving a communication and proof of survival, And again, I can only speak from my own experience when we've gone through life. And I'm sure if you guys think within your life, what obstacles have you overcome? And again, I think of mine as sort of like work-related, career-related. I think I've mentioned before, I went into an industry, the building industry. You're probably all laughing, thinking, "Oh, Darren in the building industry." But that's the kind of reaction I got. Everyone laughed at me. You've never done that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Well, do you know what? I went into that room and interviewed with probably 20 other people. I got the job out of all the experienced people because I went in with the mindset, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get this, and I'm going to prove everyone wrong. And even when I worked in the business, it was that I had a lot of people like that, oh, they'd all sitting giggling in meetings. Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's never done this. And I used to go to meetings with 20 plus other managers on the same level as me, but I was always treated as the outcast. You know, Darren doesn't know what he's talking about. Darren can't do this. Darren can't do that. But like I said, to me, the red rag to a bull, and I would go all out to show that I could do it. And I remember one day I put in, because we had to create our own forecasts and figures and what have you. And I remember one day I put in a forecast and there was this massive gasp in the room. Everyone's like, and they all looked at me and said, Darren, what are you doing? That's suicide. You can't do that. And I remember, and even my boss, he was heading the meeting with one of the directors, even he stood up and said, Darren, are you sure? This is really, it's a big milestone, blah, blah, blah. And I remember standing up, and it's not arrogance, but I remember standing up saying, I wouldn't say something if I can't commit to it. If I know I can do it, I will tell you I can do it. And because even then I was getting all the phone calls after, Darren, this is career suicide, you're mad. Anyway, lo and behold, cut a long story short, we achieved it plus more. To the point I was a newbie in an industry that people didn't think I'd survive in. And I become out of 700 branches, I was number one. I was the fastest growing. That wasn't my goal, by the way. My goal was just say, I can do this. And I think I did, well, I know I did do it. But then I started to break records and all that. But then I changed career again. And we went into many of you know, we've got a diner. And I remember when myself and Scott first set up this business 9 years ago now, would you believe? And it wasn't the greatest start to a business. I mean, a lot of you know what happened with Scott's dad, and that happened 2 weeks before we opened the business. So we opened the business in grief and a lot going on around us. We lost the big support. We lost that moral support as well as the physical support. And a lot of people said to us, give the keys back, don't sign the contract, don't do this. Even people close to us were telling us, get away from it, don't touch it, blah, blah, blah. And me and Scott looked at each other and said, who are these people to tell us how to live our lives and how to do things? And you know what? 9 years later, here we are, still with a business. Is it easy? No. Is it meant to be easy? No. Because how boring would that be if our life was easy? We're not put on this planet to live an easy life. Nobody is. And I'm sure you can all agree with me. Is your life easy every day, day in, day out, year in? No. But it'd be boring if it wasn't. We've had challenges, we've had obstacles, we've had financial issues, you name it, we've had it. It's all been thrown at us. And like Dom said, we could quite easily just say, guys, you know what, you're right, we're going to give up, we're going to surrender. But we don't. We keep going. And that shows who you are as a person. If you're willing to keep battling through all these moments and all these negativity around us, you become the person you are today. And again, there's other people and stories I've heard, and some of you guys have probably heard. One of my friends had a kid, was told the kid would never walk, never talk, had severe special needs. Well, guess what? 30 years on, this same kid, talking, walking, working, has his own property, and if we all believe these things we're told, and it's when a doctor tells somebody, I know somebody diagnosed, stage 4 cancer, minimum time to live, you're not going to get over this. They're in remission. They decided not to listen to a doctor. And I said to Scott, this is what angers me. I said, what gives an individual a right to tell somebody this, to limit somebody? The body is a wonderful thing. Of everyone's body, everyone's makeup's different to each other. So I know somebody's gone through training and, they've got a lot of knowledge. But again, what gives somebody that power to say, you're never going to do this, you're never going to do that? My friend's dad, he's been immobile, one of my best friends, his dad's been immobile for years. Nothing we can do for you, you got a problem with your legs, blah, blah, blah. He took it upon himself to take him to another country, to a private hospital. He phoned me the other day, dad's up and walking. And it's like, and this is why I get frustrated and angry, I think, with social media when you see all these things. And I think, again, it cascades into our own lives. We've had experiences recently where people do try and put you down. And I get quite angry, as we naturally do. It's a human instinct. But then I turn that anger and try and make it more positive. you know, because we don't want to live out life, you know, angry, but you turn it into a more positive thing. It's hard to do sometimes, I agree. When people are attacking you or being personal to you, whatever it may be, it's hard not to be angry. But you know what? Sometimes we can be the bigger person, and let's just show the strength that we have as individuals. And I guarantee you, when you get over these obstacles, like Dominic said earlier, people will soon change their opinions and views of you. You know, you'll come across as someone that has strength, has courage, and you can do whatever you want to do. And people will never doubt you again. But you know what? This is not about what other people think. It's about what you think. So let's not have any more obstacles. You know, yeah, you can be against the odds at times. But you know what? Just stay focused on your goals, your passions, your dreams. Don't listen to those negative minds around you. And hopefully, if any of you do have these big obstacles to overcome, you can hopefully refer back to this Sunday gathering, replay it all, listen to the words that's said, you know, and there's many more stories I can go on about, you know, going against the odds and achieving those goals. So have faith in yourself, have trust in yourself. Like our Mrs. Sandra here, she's sat in the top corner here as I'm looking at my screen. You know, look what Sandra has achieved. And I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Sandra, but you're sat there looking at me. You know, go back 20 years. If Sandra said to somebody 20 years ago, I want to create a Sunday gathering, I want to create the We Don't Die brand, I want to spread the world of life after death, I want to write a book, I guarantee you, everyone has said, you're mad, you're stupid, that ain't going to happen. But hey, let's look, here we are today, Sunday gathering, I can't remember what number we're up to now, we're in the hundreds somewhere. You know, not one book, but she's now just written a second book that's just come out. You know, thank you very much for that, Sandra, and Scott's totally appreciative of it. And so is the whole world, because Sandra is opening up something to the entire universe that, you know, people have never heard of, never seen, never witnessed. And it's bringing the word, you know, there is no death. There's only love and life, which are both eternal. And, you know, I think Sandra is a living example of going against the odds, because she hasn't said this and she may not talk about it in her segment, but I guarantee everything she's done for We Don't Die and the Sunday gathering, she has gone against the odds. I can guarantee you 100%. And hopefully she'll just acknowledge that when she comes on to talk in a second. But, you know, hopefully, you know, here we go. We've got living proof. You can achieve what you want to achieve when you really put your heart and your minds to it. And you've got people like us around you to support you. Just remember, guys, you can do it and people will love you for who you are. And I'll now hand you over to Sandra.
Oh, thank you, Darren, and thank you, Dominic. This is Sunday Gathering number 267. We have gone against the odds. You know, while you guys were talking, I was thinking about all the rich and famous and beautiful people out there. You know, no matter what they look like, no matter how much money they have the same hopes, dreams, fears, all that stuff as you and I. And I think our job is not to compare ourselves to others, but to compare ourselves to who we were yesterday and go against those odds. When we were little kids, we developed these beliefs in ourselves that we hold true today. How many times have we felt not good enough, not smart enough, unlovable? You know, these are things that happen, little things that happen to kids, and then we hang on to them for life. They're not true. Absolutely not true. You know, mine was not good enough, not lovable. My parents, they said, oh, you know, the other kids would go on to do big things, but, you know, Sandra will always be there for us, you know, which I am and which I was with my dad. But hey, he told me I couldn't do something, makes me want it even more. One little story for you. Mind you, you're looking at me now with the book and the podcasts and Sunday gathering, but I don't wake up as that Sandra. You know, I wake up with the same stuff we all think, that, you know, the negative mind. I don't remember what the date was, but I had enough evidence of the afterlife and I learned things about grief and I knew things about empowering people to have a good life. And I really, really wanted to write a book. But all this brain was telling me was, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. Who wants to listen to your words? I mean, it was brutal. I pushed myself to go to a weekend seminar about how to write a book. And I remember checking into the hotel. I remember that moment I got on the elevator thinking, I am in the wrong place. I was scared and I came so close to turning around. I had a moment that I was speaking to a gentleman, not knowing he was a publisher. And he said, "Oh, what do you want to write a book about? Why are you here?" And what I really wanted to just say was grief, right? That was the easy thing. That would be the accepted thing. But then I said, I'm gonna regret it if I don't tell him. And I told him I want to write about the afterlife because I know the afterlife is real and I want to help people through grief and I want people to know there's a bigger picture, And he looked at me like, what? His dad had just died. He took me aside. He says, "Tell me what you know." Little did I know he's the man that published my book. I wrote 2 sample chapters. He says, "Sandra, just pretend you're writing to me. Write what's in your heart." And in a matter of just a couple of months, the book you see behind me, We Don't Die, was published. As the world unfolded, miracles started happening. I got on radio shows. It hit #1 on Amazon. The story continues. Here we are today. Okay. All good stuff. But it took me going out on those skinny branches. And I still remember being on that elevator like this is the wrong place for me. A couple of little secrets that I've learned is we'll call it God, whatever you want to say, God, the universe. God will work with you, but not for you. We human beings need to take a step in the direction of our dreams. And it's like this invisible force fills our sails and we continue on. Now, it might not happen right away. We might have to keep plugging away, showing the universe or God that we're serious, but it will come. The only other thing I want to share with you is I think the magic happens when we can direct our focus to another person. I am somebody who loves to surprise somebody. I do. I mean, that's what gets me fueled up, surprising with good things, of course. So I'm here with my mom. Oh, she always gets lots of surprises, and I'm cooking things up in my mind. But we're talking about books and we're talking about the afterlife. And Darren had mentioned that there's a new book in the We Don't Die family. Certainly there is. I have been witnessing our dear friend Scott Milligan for the past 5 years between our online classes, our Sitting for Healing on Friday, following our with a trance demonstration. The first time I saw trance mediumship, I was, oh my gosh, what is this? It was incredible. And a little seed was planted. Scott always said too, someday he'd like to have a book. Hold on, one sip. Someday, but not now. How does one ever get started? So me, who likes to surprise and who life just seems to work better if we include other people in our plans and make it about them. I knew I had the resources from all these recordings that we've done on Fridays. And with Scott's okay, of course, I slowly started to compile what's now become Conversations with Eric. With Scott's help as well, we got it together, and there are now 52 different topics about life and death and the afterlife. And, I felt that inspiration kick in. There were late nights till 3 o'clock in the morning, editing, etc. And so from that man who believed in me and published my book, I am now a publisher believing in my friend Scott. And 2 days ago, this book came out for the world. Conversations with Eric, Life, Death, and the Afterlife Through the Closed Eyes of a Trance Medium. Little did we know, as the universe or God works, it was 2 days ago that was Scott's 28th year of a teenager first starting his journey into mediumship. Amazon told me it'd be 5 to 7 days before the book is available in the world. What day did it get launched? May 2nd, that day. And for anybody who's been following all our social media posts, it's hit #1. Right now, it's #1 bestseller in the UK on spirit communication. So it's a big deal, a big deal. Is it me and my marvelousness? Well, no. I think it's a recipe. God will work with you, but not for you. Keep your eyes on other people. Take a step in the right direction, in the direction of your dreams. Don't compare yourself to anybody. Compare yourself to who you were the day before. And the umbrella for it all is be passionate about what you're doing. Have fun with it and include other like-minded people. So with that, that's my recipe to go against all odds. It's still a journey. It is. And like the guys said, you know, it wasn't meant to be easy, but we get a sense of satisfaction, don't we? We do. So with that, my friends, thank you for listening to our address. We are going to move on now to our demonstration of mediumship. Now, I know we have Cindy and other new people here for the very first time. Welcome, and our returning Sunday gatherers. So I'll go through how this part goes. Dominic is our medium here today. Thank you very much, Dominic. He will request of those in the unseen world to work with him in whichever way he does. Our loved ones gather together by our sides, not just for our Sunday gathering, by the way. They're cheering us on in our life. But this is the point where we get to see just how close they are. And there's some messages that come through. Now, I always say that our loved ones that come through on the Sunday gathering, they're panelists from the other side. So how everyone had hung on, hopefully my words and Darren's words and Dominic's words, I want you to hang on to the words from the spirit folks that come through on the readings today. Witness just how close they are. And sometimes, in fact, probably most often, some of the messages that come through, you're like, oh, I could use a little bit of that myself. Well, they are here for all of us. Now, there will be some of you that will get a reading today. So Dominic will begin by giving a few initial bits of information about the spirit person that has connected with him. We want everybody on the edge of your seat. Could this be your person? Now, your person could be a loved one. It could be a friend. It could be somebody you worked with, maybe somebody distant. Who knows how they work? But your soul's going to give you that little nudge like, oh, he just described so-and-so. Now, the common denominator is this person no longer walks this earth. So if you recognize somebody and say, oh, yeah, that's my mom and she's in the next room, don't raise your hand. If it's your mom and she's no longer walking this earth, then raise your hand. When I say raise your hand, this is a good time to find on your device where that raise hand button is and go ahead and press it. Just see how it works. It changes from raise hand to lower hand. And why this is important is sometimes there's more than one person that can take all the information. So Dominic would continue to work and you'll say, oh no, that part, it doesn't relate to my person. So you would lower your hand at that point. Now we're just about 150 people here on the Sunday gathering. So again, please only raise your hand if you can take all the information. Okay, if you can only take one bit out of 5 bits taken and said, don't raise your hand, okay? Because it just takes a little longer to get to the right person. If you are the person who receives a reading here today, what I do is I press a button on my side. You're going to get a flash on your screen. Host would like you to unmute. Now that's the only time that unmute button will appear. Anytime we're over 100 people, we have to use this webinar style. So that's why you can't see anybody else, but you'll get this little special box that pops up. We don't need much from you. Whether it's Dominic or any medium in the world, all we need from you is a yes, no, or I don't know to the information that they bring. It happens far too often, sorry to say, that mediums are trying to get the information from you. Let them do the work, really, let them do the work so that we all know that they really are in communication with our loved ones and we haven't volunteered the information. So yes, no, or I don't know is all we need from you. We always like to play a feel-good piece of music before we start. This is another rendition of Eye of the Tiger. Just take some time. You know, those in the unseen world, they work through what we think is our imagination. But yeah, see them all with you and feel good and have some happy memories and all that. And then we'll be back with the demonstration. All right. We're some powerful souls here on the Sunday gathering. I tell you, I can feel it from here. Let's play the song and we'll be right back with Dominic. I want to do that. Well, welcome back. That was a fun rendition of that song. Dominic, welcome back, my fabulous friend.
Thank you, darling. Thank you, thank you. I always love listening to different renditions of different songs. It gives you a little different perspective from what we normally know, doesn't it? So thank you for sharing that. Just while I was listening, I was very much aware of Dad in the spirit world stepping forward. And I know that he would have been a father to two or three daughters. I know also as I connect here with him, he would have been a teacher. He would have been involved in education or teaching, because I know that one of his greatest passions in life was sharing knowledge and helping people learn and develop, even the underdog, if you want to say. He was such a giving gentleman. I feel there may be a connection to the name Tim or Timothy, because I keep getting this Tim connection in my mind here as I connect here with this beautiful gentleman as well. Beautiful grace, beautiful love, and a great heart is certainly what I want to say here. And I don't feel he's been gone very long, so I feel maybe 2 or 3 years, give or take as well.
Thank you very much. Who understands this gentleman? Go ahead and press your raise hand button for us, please. We are ever so patient. I know somebody understands this information, or most of this information. Press your raise hand button, please. Nobody's got their hand up. Dominic.
Oh, perfect. Just to see if this will help, I feel there may be connections also with this gentleman and his family heading towards New York as well, because I feel I'm going further into the East Coast a little bit more as well.
Thanks. All right. Has anybody got that soul nudging you? That might be me. Okay. Paul and Amelia both have their hands raised.
Okay, perfect. I do want to make sure that both understand this to be Dad, and also the connection with the teacher also.
Thank you very much. Paul and Amelia, can you both take that? All right. Would you like to hear anyone's voice?
I want to check with Amelia just because he did make me feel he was father to daughter, so I'm just going to check with
All
this.
right. Amelia, hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes, we
can.
can.
Hi.
Perfect. Amelia, if I could just ask you, you understand this to be Dad?
Yes, absolutely.
I understand him being a teacher.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, perfect. And a father to several daughters.
2.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. Because I know I want to say plural when I say daughters. He's correcting me, with plural, you see. So again, I feel like he enjoyed correcting people, but in a pleasant way, not a obnoxious way. But it was like an opportunity to make you learn, or an opportunity to help you grow in knowledge. So he's always on the button or on the ball with that. Would that be true?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. I do get the impression as I connected with him, with his teaching, with his passion, he didn't just teach with school, but did he also do like extracurriculum or do summer stuff? I feel he done normal, and then I feel he also put himself out there to help in other ways.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I do get the impression as well, as I connected with him, I do believe he would also be a grandfather.
Yes.
Yes, because he talks to me about helping from the spirit world, using his spiritual force to help educate and support the grandchildren that he would have loved to have spent more time with, if I can say that to you, sweetie.
I think so. Yes.
Yep. And I feel also, if I can say to you, there must be something either in your home or in the family home where there would be either a mirror in a frame that would have different photographs or things stick in the sides or the corners. But I feel I want to talk about some old photographs and the mirror, almost like a mural of different. I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but there's something to do with the mirror and the different photographs. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Because I know as I connect here with him, he's acknowledging to me that there also would be either his memorial card or his mass card from his service, but also someone else's. But I feel there's a collection of this, if I can say this to you. Did Dad also enjoy music? Did he ever play like guitar or piano or trumpet? I feel I want to talk about a passion of music.
Yes. He collected records and he played piano beautifully.
Perfect. Because I know that I want to say to you, in the spirit world, he can still play. He still has that passion for the music. But where am I getting this Tim or Timothy connection?
That I don't know. That's the only thing I can't connect with.
Okay, give me 1 second till I see if I can do more with this then. I keep wanting to make a reference to Timmy. Timmy. So I would ask if there would have been a friend or perhaps a cousin with Dad that would have been significant to a degree, but I keep hearing Tim or Timothy, if I can say that to you. And also, if I was to mention Joe or Joseph, would you understand the Joe or Joseph?
No, neither of them. And I mean,
Yeah.
thinking of everybody.
Just very quickly, would there be family connecting also on the West Coast and more going to
Yep.
California?
Yep. His sister.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. I want you to ask those that he connects to in California. I also feel there's either a Debbie or a Donna, but I feel like a D name that may female bring that together. But ask the family that connects to the West Coast for me. Maybe they'll be able to piece that together if that would be okay.
I
This
mean,
is
I know they kind of connect with other people. My husband has an Uncle Tim who's deceased,
perfect. That'll do me. But I know he's in the spirit world.
but he's not related to my dad. Yes, but
That's okay, but he would be connected to the family.
Yes.
Yes, that's okay. So again, maybe there'll be reason for your father acknowledging Tim and for what's going to happen here in the family. You will know when that all comes together. But do you know, I know this may sound crazy, but did your dad have not an obsession, but was there something to do with the way that he sharpened the pencils? Because I want to make sure the pencils are all sharpened and all in line or all kept well.
You know, that sounds like him, but
It's very bizarre.
yeah, I can't verify that.
That's okay. Because I feel he had this like machine that he would turn and it would have the
Oh,
pencils all
yeah, at home we actually had like an old school pencil sharpener.
perfect. Because I feel it's important to acknowledge I can't just move past it because there's significance to it. But I know that as Dad's connecting here with me, he wants me to acknowledge that his passing was beautiful. He certainly had made peace with his creator, if you want to say, and he was very much able to make his transition to the spirit world with his family. And he keeps telling me to say it was very graceful. Okay, so please take peace and comfort knowing that Dad's transition was very, very peaceful. So for me, thank you very much for allowing me to connect with you, and may the fourth be with you, sweetie.
Thank you. And I just want to tell you that's very healing because I was the only one to make it to his bedside and I helped him transition. He waited until I got there and he passed within probably 15 minutes of me getting there. And it's traumatic to think back to that day. So to hear that
Yeah.
he said it was graceful and peaceful, that does bring me some peace. So thank you so much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Sometimes, sweetie, we can never be prepared truly for saying goodbye to someone. And whether all the family were there or whether it was just you being with him, just take peace of mind knowing that that little moment was easy for him. So thank you for being there for your beautiful father.
He's always with me. Thank you so much. Bless
You're
you.
very welcome. Thank you, sweetie. So I'm very much aware of what feels to me like a cousin stepping forward here from the spirit world. And I know as she connects here with me, she talks about the times that the families all travel to get together. And I feel I want to talk about going to like a beach house or going to the beach. And I feel like anniversaries or certain holidays that the family would have all have got together. Is certainly what I want to say here. I know there should be a connection to Carol or to Caroline, Carla, as I connect here with this beautiful girl. I'm not 100% convinced, but I feel she may have had cancer before passing, but something really bugs me with that. But I know as she connects here with me, she would have been the life and soul of this gathering, is what I want to say, from being helping with the food, bringing in the potluck, the karaoke. She's just such a ray of sunshine as I connect here with her. Very fun, very joyful is what I want to say here. But I want to talk about where there would be a family photograph of all different generations of the family, either on the beach or with the beach house behind them. But I know that I want to acknowledge this photograph, and also the name Beth or Elizabeth would also be significant with her.
Thank you very much. All right, friends, who understands this information and this gal, press your raise hand button, please. And we will wait ever so patiently.
We will.
All right, there's somebody saying, should I, shouldn't I? Go ahead and press your button if you're in that category right now. There's no hands raised just yet.
I'm just going to gently work with the Berry or the Beth, like the Betsy, Beth, something like this. I feel it could also go in a different way, is what I want to acknowledge with this also.
Dominic, we have Nancy with her hand raised. Hello, Nancy.
Hi, it may be far-fetched, but I do have a cousin, Elizabeth. I'm trying to think what else you said.
Do you understand the thing about like the getting together, going back of all going to like this beach house or
Well-
camp, whatever you would maybe call it?
Well, my family home cottage was a gathering place for reunions.
Perfect.
It's
Yeah,
on the
because this
lake
is
and on a hill. And
That's okay, because this is what she keeps making me want to talk about. It's almost like she wants to say that before she passed and when she took ill, she didn't get another time to come around, or there wasn't a time of being able to then get together. But I feel there had been a memorial, or there had been a gathering after to celebrate her when the family then did get back together, is certainly what she's making me feel here. But this feels like it was such a great place, a fun place, a place where there was always games and everyone was always doing things and being connected. Would that be true?
the place is absolutely true.
Yeah, because I feel, if I can say to you, you recently have been talking about or thinking about this cottage as well, and you've been missing going to this place and going to have the gatherings with the family also, haven't you?
True.
Yes, because your cousin, she does tell me to say that even though you and her didn't get a moment to really connect or a moment to have time together, to say goodbyes and to reminisce, she knows that there's times that you still think about her and her family. And she tells me to let you know that she has been around you just now, trying to help get you back on your feet and give you a pillar of strength as well. So maybe things haven't been quite so easy for you just now. Would that be true?
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Because she's telling me to let you know you're not going through this alone, if I can say that. And would I be correct to say, Nancy, that your mum would be in the spirit world?
No.
No. So your
Hers,
cousin's
not
mum would?
mine.
Okay, perfect. Because I know that
Yeah.
I want to say she's with her mum or with mum in the spirit world, if I can say that to you. Okay.
Yes.
And would that be where there's a Carol or a Caroline or Caroline?
No, I don't have that name connection. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Let me just see what I'm getting with that then. And just going to see, just to play, there's no connections to any of the Carolinas then?
Correct.
Okay, not too sure, so we'll pause that for a moment. But I also know as I connect with the two of them being together, she does make me feel that the family have not actually connected the way that they did for quite a while now. Would that be true?
That's true.
Yep, because I know that I want to talk about looking back and looking through the old times and looking at the fun. I feel the family have now spread out and doing their own thing where maybe we're just not as connected. So please take peace of mind to know that your cousin, her mom, and that side of the family in the spirit world still come to visit, to be around yourself and your mom from a spiritual point of view rather than being together physically. Okay. One of the greatest messages that I feel they're trying to get back to you is it is good to care for everyone else, but sometimes it's important to be the primary care as well. So sometimes you have to take moments to care and rehabilitate and support yourself before you can master looking after everyone else as well, sweetie. Okay. So
Thank you
please
so
just
much.
bear in mind that that love and that support does come from them, and that it's not been abandoned. That family vibe is certainly what I want to say to you. Okay. So just remember, change that little mindset and look after yourself as well, Nancy. So thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you, and may the fourth also be with you also.
Thank you. God bless you. I appreciate it very
Thank you.
much.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. All of a sudden, I have this gentleman here taking me into, I don't know if he had like a barn or like a work shed in a sense, but I know I want to talk about he would have made things with wood. And I feel there may be something to do with a rocking horse that he had helped make or brought back to life that then carried through the family. And I feel somewhere this rocking horse may still be rocking around, if we can say this. But I'm very much aware of this man and his great passion for woodwork and, you know, the spins, not spins, that's the wrong word. I don't know. He had his tools. That's still what I want to talk about, in doing things with the wood. And also I feel he may have created like a family plaque or engraved names on this wood that would have hanged in a house or a home also, as I connect here. I feel there may be also a connection to Richard or Rick, as I connect with him, and maybe this D name like Dennis or Danny or Donnie, also as I connect with him.
Thank you very much, Dominic. Who understands this? Gentlemen, go ahead and press your raise hand for us, please. Today is one of those days we just
I
patiently
feel I may be
wait.
looking to connect to wife or partner also in this, with us here, but I just get the impression of his passing either being unexpected or quick. There's something that makes me feel we weren't necessarily truly prepared.
Thank you. Who understands this, gentlemen? Or thinks you might? Go ahead and press your raise hand button. Don't be shy. Sometimes
Don't be
that
shy, we
happens.
don't bite.
We hear from people afterwards, that was my person, but I was afraid to raise my hand. Don't be afraid. No hands are up yet.
Oh,
my
how
friend.
bizarre, how bizarre. And I know also as I connect you with him, he is acknowledging that some of his tools and some of his equipment had been given to some close friends and maybe some family members also. I feel he's had an aneurysm. I feel like either an aneurysm with the heart or something, but I keep wanting to make acknowledgement to like an aneurysm with him.
We're going to bring in our friend Emily here. Veronica,
Emily.
I see you just put your hand up as well.
Now they want to play.
I know. Emily raised her hand before you said aneurysm, but Emily, could you press your unmute button?
Hello.
Hello.
Emily.
I'm reaching with this, but I raised my hand anyway.
Okay, let's just double check. Just tell me what you understand, sweetie.
I understand the woodworking.
Yep.
I understand a name, Donnie.
Uh-huh.
But everything else, not really. Maybe the horse, maybe the rocking horse.
Okay, and do you understand this to be dad?
No, but potentially my father-in-law.
Okay, that's good because I know I want to be talking father connection. And would his wife still be with us?
She is.
Yes, perfect. This feels good, but I need to acknowledge this rocking horse. So you have to do a little bit of poking around for me, sweetie, if you can, and you can validate that for me. But you know he was very big with his love or his passion for, we say in the UK, tinkering around with his woodwork and creating things.
He was before I knew him, as far as I understand, yes.
Yeah, okay, perfect. And again, I know that I want to acknowledge where family would have continued to have kept or saved some of his tools, because he was very meticulous with showing me in this woodwork room or this barn where he had all his different equipment all laid out properly, is what I want to say. Would you understand why I would feel that his passing was either relatively quick or we didn't necessarily expect his passing?
Yes, it was
yes, an aneurysm, yeah?
Yes.
Perfect. Because I know as I connect you with him, he's acknowledging that he didn't get to say goodbye to his dear wife. He didn't get to say goodbye to his kids. And I feel that he would have passed, to a degree, relatively young, per se. 60s?
No. 70s.
70s, okay. Because the reason why I feel he's young is I get the impression he still had health with him, or he still had aspirations. He still was genuinely fit, is the reason I want to say, if I can say. I know he wasn't a frail gentleman in hospice or hospital or whatever, is sort of what I want to say here. He is acknowledging to me there's a young boy that I feel maybe here alive physically that carries his name. So I feel there's a namesake, if I can say this to you to a degree, because that comes quite clear the way he shows me this.
Yes, not young, but yes.
That's okay. But I know he'd be younger than him. That's what I will say
Yes.
with this. But I also know as I connect here with him, there's something to do with what looks to me medals. So I know that there would be something to do with one or two medals belonging to this man that someone still here has also. If I can say
Yes.
this, you understand? Because he acknowledges this as well. Now, to your mother-in-law, his wife, do you know if she has had any off balances or if she's had any falls recently?
Not falls, but she does have mobility issues.
Okay, sweetie. Because the way that this gentleman is coming in, I feel there's a lot of him trying to steady his wife and trying to hold his wife. And I almost feel like I want to be steadying her and holding her in a dance position as well, if I can just say this to you. So I feel he's using every effort and every fiber that he has to be there to support her, if I can say that, with maybe the mobility issue, if I can say. I want you to ask if there was a Dick or a Richard connecting with him, because I feel in the spirit world there's Richie, is how I want to say it, that he feels he's connecting with also, sweetie. Okay. So that'll be good little homework for you. I know that as he's connecting, he just wants to bring a great sense of, I may not have had as much time as we would have liked, he says, but I had so much fun when I was here. And he was the man that brought adventure and fun. He lived for vacations, the holidays, the family. He was just a beautiful soul, if I can just say that to you. And he tells me to say you and him would get on like a house on fire. So I get this beautiful bond that he wants to bring to you as well, sweetie. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So you can be that little messenger if you see fit to pass that on. But he also is very grateful. Christmas, Thanksgiving, holidays, people still put a plate out on a table for him, correct?
Not physically, but in spirit, yes.
Okay, because he tells me, nope, he tells me that he still sees that he has his place at the dinner table.
Okay.
So again, I just feel the family still do things to consider him and to make him still a part of life. So thank you very much for allowing me to connect with you. Ask about this rocking horse because I can see it beautifully clear, even the kind of marble effect in the horse's eyes. But he just keeps telling me to remind everyone, life goes on. Life doesn't die, life goes on, and he moves on with his family right by their side. So, sweetie, thank you so much for allowing me to chat with you, and may the fourth be with you as well.
Thank you so much, Dominic.
You're so welcome, Emily. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm very much aware of mum and her mum stepping forward. So this would be your mum and this would be grandma stepping forward from the spirit world here. And I want to do something interesting with a double-barreled name like Mary Lou or Mary Beth, something like this as I connect with these ladies. I know as I connect here also there would be connections to I almost felt as if they lived together, which is interesting. So I feel there may have been a period where grandma came to live with mum to help her look after her or support her. But I get this feeling of them being together or living together laterally for some reason here. I know as I connect a little bit more, I want to talk about a bureau that I feel maybe you still have or a unit or a bureau that with drawers that may still have pieces of mum's jewellery, some scarves, some pieces, but I want to acknowledge the bureau, the drawers still here that should be significant as I connect. I also know that I have issues with my breathing, so I feel there maybe be an emphysema or a lung disease, but I know I have a strong feeling of not being able to breathe very well is certainly what I want to acknowledge.
Thank you very much. Who understands this information? Again, press your raise hand button for us, please. Benjamin has his hand raised.
Fabulous.
Hello, Benjamin.
Hello.
Hey, Benjamin. Just very quickly, if you can just tell me what you understand, buddy.
I understand the Mary Lou
Yep.
and my mother and grandmother are on the other side.
Yep.
And then I have jewelry and Something with the drawers.
Yeah, so you understand. I don't know the right word, the bureau, the drawers, but you get that, so that's good. That's wonderful. And if I was just
Mhm.
to take you back to April, was your birthday or was Mum's birthday just back a little?
Not back, coming up soon.
Mm. Okay, I felt I was back, but I wanted to acknowledge a birthday or something that
Oh,
maybe you had done.
grandmother just
Perfect.
just happened.
Okay,
Grandmother.
wonderful. Fabulous. Thank you. I don't know why I want to make a connection to Miami, but for some reason I feel I want to be drawn to Miami. So I
Yeah.
know there should be memories there or connections there also, if I can say this to you. At any point to your knowledge, do you remember if your grandma had a parrot or a parakeet?
Not that I know of.
Okay, because in the spirit world here, I can see a bird that's for me like a parakeet or parrot that I feel would have been significant. So I'll see what I do with that. I know if I can say to you with your mom and your grandmother, they would have been strong ladies, if I can say this to you. But I know as they connect with me, there's this element of a great aspiration, a great admiration for you, if I can say that to you. And I almost feel with your grandma, I want to come and grab your little cheeks, if I can say this to you. And obviously, I don't see you, but I feel I want to shower you in this tremendous amount of love and pride. And as you've learned today, our theme is when the odds are stacked against us. And I feel like your grandma really hits home with this yourself, where you felt you didn't have the power or the ability or people believing in you also. And she's telling me to say from the spirit world, she's did a lot that she could to push you forward and support you. Have you done your own spiritual journey or development or healing? Because I feel spiritually she's been working with you.
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Because this is what I want to acknowledge. And I feel there's a confliction here with a faith, if I can say that to you, from what once was believed to what they now know, and now you breaking out and doing your own thing, if you get what I mean by this.
Yes.
Perfect. I also know if I was to say to you, with your mom and with your grandmother, there must be a diary that would be almost like a black case, but I know there'd be something to do with a diary or a booklet that has handwriting in it belonging to your mum or your grandma.
Um, Not that I know of a diary.
I feel if it's not a diary, then it would be an address book, but I keep seeing this small leathered case that I want to acknowledge where there's writing in it.
An address book, yes.
Okay, perfect, because I can see it very clear as I connect here. Do you understand whether there be a connection to the name Sue or Susie or Suzanne? Sue?
Um, yes.
Yes, perfect. Because the connection keeps going, which is really good here. And also, at some point, why would I get the impression of either being connected to a school or working within a school or a church connected with a school?
A school, a connection to a school,
Yep.
yes.
Perfect. Because again, I want to acknowledge going back, either with your mum or your grandma, someone's mind wasn't fully their own either. So I know that they're reminiscing and talking about having more peace of mind and clarity and remembering things, if I can say this to you. So I know that that's a sense of healing that has been done with them in the spirit world, if I can say this. Okay. I think I've moved, but let me just double check. Do you still have what I can only describe to you as a cross or a crucifix that belonged to Mum?
No, but other religious items.
Okay, because I'm seeing it almost as what I would call as a totem or like something that I feel she had that would have sat on the drawers or on a bureau, if I can say that to you, with, if you want to say, religious artifacts. But I see this statue or this figurine type thing that I feel you should still have around you.
Like more Hanukkah items.
As long as you understand it, I'm very poor with religion, believe it or not. But I just see that she's acknowledging that you still appreciate or you still have these things around, is certainly what I want to say to you. Okay. Just very
Yes, yes.
quickly, was there a small dog that was called like a P name, Poppy, Pet Pretty? I feel like I want to acknowledge a small dog, almost like a Chihuahua or a Pomeranian.
No.
No, perfect. I think I've moved then. But I want you to know just that strength of your mum and your grandma being together. It's almost like they've never truly been apart. This feeling of being together, that support that I feel they deliver to you through your own unfoldment or your own development, whatever that may be that you're doing. But your grandma's words to you is believe in yourself more than you ever have because the doors are finally opening. So you must be at a place of having an epiphany at the moment within your ability or your development where you're starting to feel your progression or feel a sense of moving forward, and your grandma's got your back. So Ben, sincerely thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you, and from your mum and from your grandma, may the fourth be with you.
Thank you, Dominic. I
You're so
appreciate
very
it so
welcome.
much. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Benjamin.
Perfect. So I'm just going to see what I can do with this very quickly, but I'm very much aware of this lady that comes forward, and the moment that she steps into my space, I'm aware of the dog comes with her. That's a no-brainer. And again, I know that I want to talk about like a Chihuahua or a Pomeranian. I can see this little dog very clear with its brown and black little face here, but I feel there'd be a P name connecting here as well. So either Precious or Pippa, Poppy, this feeling of a P connecting here with her is what I want to say. I also feel as I connect with the lady, as she connects here with me, I almost feel there may have been a sense of not being able to speak towards the end or having an issue with the throat here, because I feel really dry. I don't know if she needed help to speak in some way, but she's acknowledging the throat as I connect here with her. I also want to make a connection to Janie or Jeannie as I'm connecting with her also, because I get that coming in really clear. I don't know if there's like a Vicky or Victoria or Tori, like a name sounding like this here as I'm connecting as well here. But there's a lot going on with this lady as I connect, but she keeps talking to me about the dog, and I feel it's important for you to know that the dog is with her. So perhaps this dog is yours.
Thank you very much. We have Lisa with her hand raised, and then Veronica as well.
Perfect. Let's check with Lisa then.
Okay. Hello, Lisa.
Hi, Dominic. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, what do you understand, sweetie?
Pretty much everything except for I understand Vicky. I understand the dog. I understand the throat. But there was
Yep.
another name you mentioned that I didn't recognize that name.
I can't even remember now, if I'm truly honest,
Me
but that's
neither.
okay. That's okay. Was there like the dog, like a Pippa, Peppy, like
Yeah.
a P?
Yeah.
Perfect, because I got that really strong, if I can say that to you, sweetie.
Poopers. I think it was poopers.
Okay, perfect. But I know as I connected with this lady, she did acknowledge where she didn't really have the vocal ability per se, if I can say this to you, because she gives me that really clear. Just very quickly, do you also have a brother in the spirit world?
Yes.
Yes, because I know that I want to talk about now. There's a brother stepping forward, or there's a brother here also, as I connect here with her. But also, if I was to talk about, also in the spirit world, was there a friend or a cousin? Where would there be the female that had either like a cerebral palsy or like a Down syndrome? Where would I get the feeling of a lady that had a disadvantage with a condition also?
Yes.
Do you understand that? The other name I
Yes.
feel was Jeannie or Janie, actually. It just came back there. So it may connect to her. But do you know what's interesting? As I'm connecting to this family, I almost feel I've got one family, but then it also feels like a family that then became a family. So do you understand whether
Yes.
it would be like an adoption or where family were integrated per se?
Yes. Integrated, but not adoption.
Okay, perfect. Because it's almost like I've got primary family, and then another side of family is what I need to acknowledge here. Do you understand also Francis?
Yes.
Yeah, because I hear Francis being here also, is what I
Yes.
want to say to you. I am acknowledging the sense of them coming together. I'm acknowledging the sense of family, but I'm also acknowledging the sense of where there's concern or some healing or concern for a dog this side of life. So do you have a dog or a dog around you that's maybe getting up there with age?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Because I know that this dog in the spirit world that comes, it might be small, but it's certainly mighty. And I feel it's bringing unconditional love to the dogs or to the pets here. Actually, you would understand who had the parrot in the spirit world.
Yes.
Yes, because it's just came back around. So Ben, it's not for you, buddy, but I know that I need to say this parrot comes around also, if I can say that to you. Now, this may sound bizarre, but with your brother, if I can just say to you, do you ever have memories going back when he was slightly younger of him trying to either rescue or keep as a pet, like a squirrel or a chipmunk or
Yes.
something? Yeah, okay, because he's acknowledging it's on his shoulder, if I can say this to you, sweetie. And I just feel as they come close, as they gather close, it's time to close the past. That's what I keep hearing. So I feel like between the family at the moment here, it's time to let go of this past. Don't hold on to this. It's almost like getting affairs together, getting things in order so that we as a family can move forward with almost less burden, if I can say that to you, and have peace of mind moving forward. Do you understand what's going on just now that they'd be acknowledging?
Yes.
Perfect, wonderful. I know with your brother, as he's coming close, he wants me to remind you he's still a pain in the butt. So I feel the beautiful relationship with you and him. He wants to say he's still a pain in the butt, but he loves you dearly. Okay. And I know that his transition to the spirit world allowed him to find love within himself again, sweetie, if I can say this to you. Okay.
Yes.
So please have peace of mind knowing that he's safe. Was there ever talk or hope for him to have maybe have went into like almost semi-professional football or NBA? Like I feel there's something he could have done well with a sport.
Not football, but yes, close.
Okay, because I keep seeing what I would call jerseys or tops that's got numbers that I associate to sport, and I just get the impression of sometimes your brother allowed the odds to be stacked against him. Sometimes he allowed his mindset to be easily influenced or changed by others, where he now sees he sometimes threw a lot of things away.
Yes.
Okay. Bizarrely, what I'm about to say to you, I don't really know what to do with, but I feel they're acknowledging. Do you understand who they would have seen from the spirit world do a parachute jump?
Not quite a parachute jump, but something close to that.
Not sure what would be close to that, but I'll tell you, I almost feel like in some way maybe someone doing this as like a
Zip line.
fundraiser. No, I can see the parachute, but I feel
Oh.
if I got it.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, that'll do me. But I just
Mm.
feel in some way there's an impression of chasing the dreams, living on the edge, and just having fun with it. Almost feels like your brother also. Okay, so I know that they're just acknowledging that they still watch over the family. They're still very much here, and I know that someone's planning their next big hype or their next big chasing adrenaline, if I can just say that to you. You were recently talking about a trip to Las Vegas.
Yes, close
Yep.
to that.
Yep, because they're acknowledging they've been listening to your conversations, not to be making excuses. Throw caution to the wind and just live life. That's what your family are saying here, sweetie. And with this beautiful lady, I feel she certainly acknowledges when she didn't have a voice herself, her family pulled together to be her voice when it came to her medical care. Okay. And she keeps telling me to say that she's very, very grateful with that love that she was shown. It allowed her to just try to be restful and just try to gather herself before making her transition. Okay. So family together, the dog, sending support here for the dog here. Keep hearing Buster, but also the family and the spirit world just looking out for each other as well, sweetie. Okay. So sincerely, thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you. You will never catch me jumping out of an aeroplane doing a parachute or nothing like this because I am a big scaredy cat. But good luck to whoever does, because I certainly could not do that. But sincerely, thank you very much. And may the fourth be with you from your loved ones as well. So sincerely, thank you so very much. And I will pass back to our beautiful hostess with the mostest, Miss Sandra.
Oh, thank you so much, Dominic, and may the fourth be with you as well.
Bless
I've got
you.
some announcements. First of all, in 25 minutes time, our medium friend Chris Jacobs is here with us on a different Zoom link to have a 90-minute medium demonstration. So if you want to just join us for that as well, we'd love to have you. When I'm done with my announcements, I'll put the registration link in the chat box. Now, to visit our good friend Dominic Boag, you can go to dominicboag.com. His book is called The Voice of Spirit, The Boy Next Door with the Incredible Gift. He is in Massachusetts right now. There's a demonstration coming up. I know there's some readings. He'll be traveling a bit. And then in June, you can meet Dominic, Scott, Darren, and other friends in a wonderful retreat called Touching Eternity at a beautiful Holiday Inn in Orlando. If you can make it, you don't want to miss it. You don't. If you go to my website, which is wedon'tdie.com, you click on the Scott Milligan page. There is a link there for that as well. What other things can I tell you? Well, this Thursday, our friends Carrie and Phil are starting their next psychic and medium class called The Gentle Path to Spirit. On Friday, we're back with Scott Milligan for In the Arms of Eternity, which again is what this book is about. Little plug for the book there. He will be also starting a class called Trance in the Altered States coming up. I think it's May 18th or so, 4 sessions. Again, everything you can find at wedon'tdie.com. Next week, we have the wonderful medium Tim Southwell with us. And Darren, it is Mother's Day for many countries in the world. It is exactly also my dad's 15th year anniversary of passing to the spirit world. So without Dad going the way he did, we wouldn't be here today. So please join us for that. Again, everything is at wedon'tdie.com. You can click on the store page. You can also click on the Sunday gathering page. You can watch past Sunday gatherings, register for upcoming ones, and a big shout out to those of you who have donated to make our Sunday gathering possible. There's a donation link there should you choose. I only have one little bit of other words for the rest of Against All Odds to empower us. It really does work if we put on some of our favorite music to motivate us, or do the Superman pose or the Wonder Woman pose, you might call it. Or you can even do the YMCA if you're up to it. But these little actions physically, and take that one step in the direction of your dream, can make that, God will work with you, but not for you, can make that step happen. So we want you to go for your dreams. We really do. And each one of them is important. So with that, I'll turn it over to Darren.
Thank you, Sandra. We've talked about Star Wars. I mentioned Star Wars a few times in this Sunday gathering, but as we were talking, another one popped into my head. Those of you that are old enough may remember the film Dirty Dancing and that line from Patrick Swayze, "Nobody puts baby in the corner." And that kind of refers to what we're talking about today. And I think that's the motto we need to go with. Nobody puts you in the corner. Our theme is against all odds. But there's a saying I want to use that Scott uses in his workshops that I've been present at. He gets his students to say, I am, I can, and I will. So I am able to do it, I can do it, and I will do it. It's quite a simple saying, but I think if we empower ourselves, a lot can go on, a lot of people can influence us, but just keep focused. Let's go against all the odds. Let's prove we can do it. And most of all, prove to yourself. You're not here on this world to prove anything to anyone. You're just here to be yourselves, be your true selves. So remember, I am, I can, and I will. And nobody puts baby in a corner. And I'll hand you over to Dominic.
Darren, I'm very disappointed you stole my words, but it's incredible how connected that we all are, and we always laugh, the three amigos, of how the synchronicity and how we all blend very well together. But I want to give you 3 steps, almost using exactly like Darren says. When maybe you feel the odds are stacked against you, or maybe you feel that no one else is there for you or doing it for you, and maybe there's that burning desire for you to go somewhere or to do something. Maybe, like Sandra said, Scott having that desire to maybe one day write a book, and then here it comes organically. So I give you 3 steps. I can, And that means you're giving yourself the permission to do it. You're enforcing that brain to go into a power of giving you the inspiration, the energy, and all the help, whether it come from physical people or whether it come from the spirit world. I can is the first moment for you to start. I will also gives action. When you give yourself the I will, that's then you giving yourself the action to go and make it happen. Taking the positive action to start climbing that mountain. And then I did. I did maybe 6 months from now, 10 months from now, 2 years from when you first said I can. And I want you to use the I did for when you look back with pride. Look back at what you did when maybe no one else believed in you, maybe when all the odds were stacked against you. You began with I can. You then step forward to I will. And then you can look back to I did, because you are in charge and you can and you will and you did. So always remember those 3 little words. So go on in this work, in this world, in this week, do whatever, but just believe in yourself and just trust that you can. So without any further ado, let's join together and close this beautiful Sunday gathering on this May 4th, with all that 4th being with us, and give thanks to our friends in the spirit world. So let's close our eyes and join with me in prayer. Divine Spirit, we graciously thank you for allowing us to become one today under the banner of We Don't Die, to allow us to gather together and support each other and give us the encouragement to move forward and to climb every mountain that may seem so high, to help us reach the highest peaks, to give us the inspiration to believe that we can and that we will. We also thank our friends and our family in the spirit world who stepped forward and gave us the proof that their life truly is eternal and that there is no death. We thank them for the love that they shared for not just those who got the messages, but for everyone that joined us today. We created a beautiful force that showed us that love truly is eternal and cannot die. We ask for healing for everyone here today, for their friends or family, the animal kingdom, Mother Nature. Give it to those who need it the most, but also remind us to give it back to ourselves as well. We finish the service with love, gratitude, and respect, and may we join together once again. But until then, we say farewell, and until we meet again, amen.
Thank you so much, Dominic, and thank you, Darren. And as we move into our closing song, it's the band Take That with The Greatest Day, which was for the King's coronation. A lovely way to end our Sunday gathering. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to Dominic and Darren. We'll see the amigos soon. Tomorrow's Cinco de Mayo. In fact, we love you all. Remember, there's so much love in the invisible space around you. We love you too. Until next time, have a great rest of your day and make it the greatest day. Bye, everyone.